So today I'm finally getting around to doing a review on a 2-inch checker Schmidt Brothers board. um, Had this board for around, I want to say December, so about 2 to 3 months. I took it to the LA Backgammon Championships in December. Played about 5 to 10 matches on it. I've taken it to the club, or my local club. Um, so right off the bat, the reason I wanted a Schmidt Brothers board is because I needed a board for these 2-inch Bakelite checkers that I bought on eBay. Brand new, old stock. They had never been used. Came with the original box, and according to Chris Lloyd, they're about circa 70s, 80s, so about 45 to 50 years old. So very unique. You'd be hard pressed to find another set like this in the original box. Never been used Bakelite. So zero flaws. Beautiful checkers, have a nice weight to them. So I think you might have, I don't know, but I've used them on my Zavril board, and the colors don't really match because Zavrils are blue and white. Okay, so that was the big reason why I had this board made. And also, I know Eric would make the board to my specifications, so two of my big requirements were having the length as short as possible, so meaning having only 11 checkers across to fit perfectly, as you can see, perfectly. So other boards, other 2-inch checkers, you might be able to fit 12 checkers, but then that means you're gonna have to be reaching out quite a lot more. So that's one of my requirements. The other requirement was to have my cubes all fit in one pocket. Now ideally, I'll come back to this as one of the negatives with working with Schmidt Brothers. Ideally, I wanted all 4 cubes to fit in the pocket like this, like in a 2x2, but they don't quite fit, so this is good enough for me. It's fine. Eric's you could tell Eric was a little upset that he couldn't fulfill that requirement, but it's fine. I mean, they still fit in this big pocket, so that's not a big deal. Okay, so right off the bat, let's start with the many positives. First of all, Eric listens to what you want. He listens to your design. He does pretty much everything custom that you want. Okay, let's see. Plenty of colors to choose from. You could choose your field. You could choose the point color. You could choose the the cover, other cover. Okay, that's our new cat Panda. She's much more friendlier and curious than our other cat. So hopefully she. All right. As long as you don't tip over the. Oh, okay. As long as you don't tip over the camera, we'll be fine. Okay, so another thing is, if you have a set of Bakelite checkers that you can't find a board to match with, you'll make a board around your checkers. Yep, she likes the big, thick checkers. Okay. Let's see his boards. This is my second Schmidt Brothers boards. I also have a 1.5-inch checkerboard that I use that for travel. And so far it's been durable. So that's a big plus. Sometimes you buy a board and within a year they start breaking down. So I've had the other Schmidt Brothers board for about 2 years now. And it's zero flaws, beautiful, beautiful board. Okay, so another thing is the fabric or the type of material he uses is not cork like a Chris Lloyd. It's cork fabric, so it's much more durable. You know, it's more customizable, and you know, it's very durable. So that's a big plus. It's not gonna chip like a crystalloid will. And also, one unique thing about Eric too is, you know, he's a artist at heart, innovative guy. You know, some people like to stuff their board with clocks, cups, baffle box, cubes. I don't, but one unique thing that Eric does, and you won't find this with any other boards, is cups inside that fold and go inside your board. Um, see, magnetic, cork with the triplet, and you can fit those right inside your board, so they're not, you know, sloshing around inside your board. Don't particularly like that. So, you know, that's something unique. They work fine. Another positive. Let's see. Now, on to the negatives. There's really not a whole lot. One of the negatives is, for example, Eric is in California, Northern California, in Ventura County. So if you're not local, you're gonna have to ship your materials, such as your checkers or cubes, to him in order for him to get precise measurements, so everything will fit like you want it to fit. So there aren't any errors, so you won't have to ship it back. Um, so I did give him my checkers, so he was able to measure them, you know, work with them. So this is perfect. You know, checkers fit perfectly into the board. I did not, however, give him the gammoner cubes, even though I sent him measurements. But you know, when you're building your board, little things change here and there. So if you're off by a millimeter, that's going to make a big difference. So you are going to have to ship your materials if you want a custom board with your own checkers and cubes, cups, whatever you want to fit in there. So that's one negative. The other slight negative is, you'll see later on when I start rolling dice, is with the cork. Sometimes the dice do tend to spin quite more than normal than a felt or a wool board. You know, sometimes, you know, they do this for, you know, a few more seconds than normal. Not a big deal. They don't do it all the time. Maybe one out of, I don't know, 12 to 15 rolls. So another thing is the price. If you want quality, you got to pay for it. You know, if you want a luxury backhoe board that's going to cost you $500, you know, you're gonna feel the materials, and it's gonna feel like a $500 board. Okay, if you want something nice and special and unique, then you're gonna have to pay up. So the price for the board alone with the cups was $1,000. Okay, so that's reasonable. Now the checkers, I paid way too. I think, well, I paid above market price, but try to find another set of unused 2-inch Bakelites. Okay, so I did pay up. So, you know, which I don't mind, because I'm gonna keep this board for hopefully a very long time. Let's see. Oh, the other. So I did the price. The spinning too much on the cork, or the cork fabric. The other, and the price, and the other, which goes back to the cork fabric, is I've only seen him work with cork fabric. So if you're not a fan of cork fabric, then, you know, he might want to try other types of material for the field. I don't know. Other positives that I forgot to mention is these points are hand painted. He does this nice little strip on the points. He could customize your tips to be, you know, thin tips, circle. I just saw a board on his Facebook that he has. you know, different types of shapes for the tips. So whatever you want, you know, he'll do it for you. He does a very good job with the handle. This is a Bakelite handle, and all the you know, all the point or the screws and stuff are riveted in there, so you're not gonna have to worry about them coming undone. He does very nice latches. I'll do a close-up later. Classic latches. He'll, you know, pretty much, I think with this particular board, he had to just make the frame and everything. Usually he just does like a resto mod of an existing board. All right, so let's see. That's about it. So I guess I'm just gonna roll on this side because Panda's on this side. I don't know if she's gonna start moving, but you know, I'll shake some dice, see how the. All right, let's see. So the roll is 4-1 for white. So I would go 4 here, and then the 1 here that you can't see, but I'm splitting. 24, 23. All right, black's turn. Oh, double twos, nice roll. So I'm gonna make my 4-point. All right. Is that okay? All right. So and then I'm gonna make go 2 down. All right, one more shake, then I'll give you close-ups. Five, 4. See, so the spinning doesn't happen often, you know, so it's not too bad. That one spun a little. All right, I'm gonna shoot some close-ups. Okay, so here is close-up of the points and the board, and as you can see here, I wanted my cubes to fit there. So I think what I might do if it really bugs me in the future is just buy more Bakelite cubes, even though these guys have gone up in price. This lady was quoting $600 a piece for her 1.5 inch cubes. I got this for, I think it was 200 a few years ago. See, so now those will be able to fit, but like I said, it's not a big deal that these don't quite fit, so this is fine. Okay, let's look at the how the checkers fit. See that? All right, this right, Panda? It's a nice board, right? Yep. So here's a closer look at these little compartments. It's all lined with cork. So he does a really nice job. Do a closer look at the handle. A little close up. Bakelite. Now he does get those from old guitar cases. Right.